This video contains strong language not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
There are many stories told to us at our bedsides, of heroes of old in lands far away from the hillsides we roam. In these tales we rarely question the mighty and powerful hero that smites the shadows and terrors that lash out in our imaginations. In the riverlands of Verdun and the island of Emrys, we weave a story of what it truly means to be a bastion of hope and a bringer of peace. In the imperial city of Verdun, the High Council fights over meager holdings as the Empire busies itself with a failed crusade to the east. In the south, an army from Frostria advances on Thalberg's holdings. Refugees flee by foot, unable to reach Verdun on its dangerous roads, and find themselves pushed into the woods of Eris Cairn and the forbidden city of Liath Relislas. Shadows lurk in many places, which is to be expected. But when they reach out into the daylight on their own, there are those that take notice. It is here we begin, with one unexpected called to answer the question. Who will you be when the darkness grows? What does it truly mean to be a hero?
Good. You've stumbled upon a laughing party of adventurers. What do we do? All right.
Panic.
So, welcome back, audience. That I can't see. I think it would make me too nervous to watch the Twitch. Honestly, I'm just here. I'm just here for the fun. That's it. So, welcome back, anyone who's here. So we left you guys at the Temple Village, which had been ransacked by bandits. Little recap. I do have some important business that I wanted to ask kind of like in-game, is whether or not you remember actually killing any of the bandits, or did we dispatch all of them non-lethally?
I know we like kind of kept Big Dog alive.
We did do that.
I think there was one other bandit that Ned was able to knock out. Yeah, I kind of imagine that like most of the, because Ned got a lot of the like kind of the kills, the how do you want to do this, and from what it was described as, like those were non-lethal. I'm pretty sure Erica's character ganked that fucking priest.
I don't know. I left them there for the people of the town to take care of. What they did when they left the church is on them.
Now, the priest, you definitely got him in the back with an arrow.
I'll take care of that one.
He biffed it hard.
The guard with the torch
that was murder.
The guy with the torch was like, "Oh, look, I'm afraid," and everyone just, I feel like, tore him limb from limb.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I feel like one of our NPC guardsmen that we came along with, brought along, did kill one of the bandits. But I think Lucas took care of that one. Okay, cool. So we have two surviving bandits, Big Dog, and you probably didn't catch the other guy's name, so we'll just say an unnamed bandit.
Small Dog.
Yeah, Small Dog.
Chihuahua.
I do have the names here. I'll just say that it was Flacker. Is the other bandit that you have in place. And there were villagers in the church, and the cultist there was trying to offer up their vessels to this unnamed god. They didn't name a god when you were in the church, when they were saying the prayers or anything, but they were definitely conducting some sort of ritual. There was tar on the floor, and the bandit was ready to drop a torch and burn the rest of those villagers there. And those were mostly the stronger, more able-bodied individuals that stayed in the village to try to defend it. And you successfully saved those folks. in the church and dispatched Big Dog by shoving him into a fire. He's badly burned, definitely like got some fire scars going on. Looking more like Darth Vader by the minute. And we are coming back in, going back to town. I'm assuming you guys are. It's basically like I'm just gonna say that you have left. We are beginning this episode right where we left off. It is now. It's quieted down. You've neutralized the issue.
Well, all right then. No, we're still in Templetown, or are we back in Gold?
Yeah, we'll say that we're back. We're still in Templetown.
Okay.
And we have Marion and Lucas, the two town guards, are with you, and they come back to Kurt's character, pretty much right after they get out of the church. Marion does, and she's got Miko with her.
Is everyone all right? Anyone hurt? Anyone injured?
I think Lucas definitely said, "Yeah, took a beating. He's pretty down."
I think Simon's like kind of holding his side because he got like nat 20'd with a spear last session. I'm like, I mean, if I don't do something about this, it'll probably be pretty bad. Hey, brother, breathe.
I'm coming. I'll stand up from Big Dog's body, make my way over, and I'm gonna do my healing hands. That's 9 hit points back to you, sir.
Yay!
So it's kind of like he comes up and he like, and Glitz up hearing this. Oh, well, he got you pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Does this hurt? I'm supposed to ask that question. He'll reach into his pouch, pull out a couple of herbs, kind of just crush them up between his hands. He goes, "This part's a little unpleasant. I'd look away." Just kind of just push. Kind of tuck it in there, just be like. And there, as he puts his hand down, you feel this warmth from his hand. Not quite enough to burn you, but just this very warm, almost relaxing heat.
That wound. Extra pocket.
Pulling the hand away, you're no longer bleeding, and the wound seems to be staunched for the time being.
All right, let's never do that again. Just like the thing before that, let's never have that happen. Let's also never have that happen again if we can avoid it.
Yeah. Things just unwantingly going into your body. Spears, it's verbs, thumbs. Just
be careful. And then I will make my way over to Lucas, wiping my thumb off on the blood and stuff off of my thumb on the hem of my on the arm of my white robe, and go check on him. And I'll do another hand of healing on him, because I'll heal everybody, even though he's an NPC. His opinion matters. That is another 9. This D6 is hot for me today. So,
right.
Very similar treatment to Lucas over on the side.
He does not respond very stoically. He's like, ah!
Oh,
You haven't even done anything. You haven't even done anything.
Quiet, Dan.
Listen, the more you squirm, the more this hurts.
He's like, "Wait, did you work for the Empire? Some sort of torturer?" Oh, guys.
Everybody needs a hobby. Now stop wiggling. Same kind of treatment, and then I will go over to where Miko is.
Okay. Yeah, Miko has definitely busied himself counting the buttons. He doesn't look up at you, but as soon as you approach, he's kind of counting his buttons, saying, "They were going to burn all those people in there."
Mm-hmm.
Who were they?
I don't know. But because we stopped them, because we only killed when we had to, we can get answers.
It's not very often that I hear you say the words "I don't know."
They're good words. Here, and I'll reach into my robe and hand him the button for Big Dog.
He looks down at that one. What's this from?
It's from our friend.
Oh, okay. And he takes it, puts it in his box. What's gonna happen to him?
I'm not sure. That's twice you've gotten me to say I don't know. You're starting to ask better questions. Let's go chat with the Buckets and see what their plan is with him.
He usually would lead the way, but he follows you. Go ahead.
As they're having this conversation, Lila kind of comes up behind, Brother Breathe, recoils the wings. Brother Breathe, you don't look too well. Would you like some help?
Oh, it's...
Nico taught me a lot.
I think I'll be fine. There are probably others in the church that may need your aid more than an old man like me.
Okay,
this is probably the first time that you unfurl those wings in front of them, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just so that you know, for those of us, yeah, exactly, Ned, be the first time that you have seen someone sprout wings before. She definitely didn't have the wings going in the church, and then she came out of the church with wings.
Excuse me. I think, Brother Breathe, I think I might have been hit on the head.
Yeah, me too.
I'm seeing things.
That's good. That means your eyes are still working. It means you weren't hit that hard.
What? I don't think she had. Sorry, man. Did she have wings before?
No, Ned, she did not.
Guys, it happens in moments of dire peril. It's just a part of who I am.
To everyone?
No, it's a part of who I am.
I'm
not sure if it's a part of who you are, but we can always find out.
What?
I mean, I'd rather not, but thanks for the offer.
So question for you, DM. In my 50-odd years of life, is this something that I would be... Have I heard anything of this sort? I know I've been fairly isolated.
Probably, because it is rare, but it's not unheard of. It's not like something that would be out of a myth or folklore, like Hercules is coming and lifting a building, and you're like, oh, I've never seen that before. It's definitely heard of, especially because you're a monk of a rather diplomatic order, that you might have heard stories of, like, Valkyrie characters that might have, like, swooped over battalions and been very efficient in the ways of war, and been messengers, sometimes for good and sometimes for ill, and that you could kind of tell or glean some sort of wisdom by what wings they have. Demonic wings being more of the troublemaking sort, angelic white glowing wings being more of the obviously characters that are pushing the laws of good. However, in your experience, the laws of good don't necessarily mean that they are good laws. So, by what you can tell from her wings, I think they're like dark black and purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like a crow raven-ish. Raven wing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's what you glean.
So yeah, there's not, when you come over with the wings and ask for help, there's a little bit of surprise when he kind of turns to look at you to acknowledge that conversation, but not nearly as big of a reaction as you're getting out of Ned and Simon. Well, I never thought I'd meet one of you in the flesh.
Very far between these days. Crazy story. Shall we?
You'll have to tell me about it sometime.
Looking forward to it. Shall we maybe go and pick the jaws up off the ground?
You can pick them up. My back isn't what it used to be. I can reattach them, though.
Ned, Simon, close your mouth.
Sorry, it's just not every day you see something like that around Goldvale. I mean, what? Next thing you know, Simon over here is going to start shooting thunder and lightning.
No. What? No, this doesn't make... Okay, what is anyone else thinking that, this is just maybe a bit too much of a coincidence? Like 2 days ago, Ned, there's a dead person walking around, and then you show up, and now here you are, and you've got wings. Like, what happened in that church? What was going on in there?
Something's wrong with that church.
Well, so inside there was a priest, and there was one of these outlaws who were in there with the villagers. Dispatched of the priest very quickly, for good reasons. He was going on and on about souls having to be procured and harvested. So I'm pretty sure they were going to just incinerate all of those poor villagers. There was a pool of pitch in the middle of the church. I did take out the torch with my water skin, so I am out of water, unfortunately. But everything's safe now, but I'm pretty sure there's more questions to ask of someone who still alive? Who knows if they're willing to give us the answers?
Ned and I can make them talk. We've got a particular method of obtaining information.
Okay. Love to see that in action.
I'd love to see the buckets in interrogation tactics.
Good cop and slightly less polite.
That priest, what did he have anything on him?
I didn't really get a chance to look. I mean, the body's probably still in there, so we can go and check it out, but this might be a little bit more pressing. I really don't think he's going anywhere.
I mean, pointing at Big Dog and the other just completely unconscious. Neither are they, so
True.
I don't know. I just kind of want to see if that priest was the leader of them or something. I want to know what he was all about.
All right. Well, I'll go look then. Make my way back into the church. See if anyone's still in there.
The priest is dead on the face down. There are a couple of people dragging the bandit out to the burn pile. He's long past dead. And other than that, there's just a general rabble leaving that back door. And there were a couple of people clearing away the benches and the stools and stuff from the front door, and then they had just burst open that door. As you're walking in to investigate, And those villagers are coming out to congregate, and they immediately see the 2 buckets from Goldvale and a monk. So they're immediately going to be approaching you 3 while you're going in the church.
Cool. I would like to kind of rifle through the priest's robe, see if there's any like iconography, any emblem.
Yeah, roll
maybe one
investigate.
that is perfect. Oh, that's delightful. 17 plus 7, 24.
All right. So when you're rifling through the pockets, you definitely see that there are bits of some like empty potion bottles, bits of herb. The robes smell like sulfuric, like very dank and like a very noxious campfire kind of smell. And the outsides of the robes are very like matted and oily. And as you approach, like this priest just smells of like rot, like a wound left to fester. And as you pick up a hand, you have noticed that not only had this cultist died of his wound in his back, but when you pick up his arm, it has aged like what seemed to be like 50 years since you left him here. When you noticed him, he was younger. He was bearded, but he wasn't gray-haired. And now when you're noticing him, that his skin has shriveled, and his hair has fallen out, and he seems to have withered away on the ground. And on his skin, here on his forearm, you see is riddled with scars, some of which are open wounds, which definitely emit some very noxious smells. And there is a symbol burned on the palm that you recognize from your dream.
The same symbol as what was behind the Emerald Eye.
Yeah, and give me a will save.
Ooh, okay. Dirty 20.
Okay. When you look at the symbol, you immediately go back to that vision, and then you snap back out of it. And just from the presence of whatever that thing was, leaning over the city, the Forbidden City, you feel shaken. Like your heart is beating, and you're out of breath. And you're looking around, and you notice that you're back where you were. But for a second, you thought you were definitely being teleported, transported something, and then you snap back to reality.
Okay. I'm just going to shake out of that. And just kind of slowly make my way back out of the church, but not turning around, like still kind of keeping an eye on the dead body.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I'm like far enough away, like right at the door, I'm just gonna catch the body on fire with Sacred Flame.
Okay.
To burn that through with Radiance.
Okay.
And then say
Is that a magical fire that you can control?
Yeah.
Much like, okay, cool. Because that fire would definitely have caught the rest of the church on fire with that oil.
We don't need a burn pile.
Yes.
Peace out, church.
Go in there and figure out what's up with that priest. What?
What priest?
Couldn't figure out anything, guys. Yeah, these wings, I don't know where they came from.
But now they're on fire.
Yeah, I thought about that before I did that.
So when you do catch this body on fire, you do hear that echo of some sort of voice echoing off the walls, and it's definitely chanting. Do you have? I mean, it's let's say it's celestial, celestial language.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Latin, I guess, but it's definitely chanting magical incantations for what you recognize to be necromancy. Um, and the breaking down of this body when it's being burned by this sacred flame. You can hear like a wail or a scream, like as it pitters out, and the chanting stops.
Okay. That may not have been a great idea. I'm going to leave the church. All right. Nothing really in there. Just a few kind of things that connected to this vision that I had previous to meeting you all. There's this symbol. I just kind of like take a stick and like draw the symbol in the dirt to the best of my ability. This is very bad. It was burned onto his hand. Also, some weird aging whenever he died. Definitely think we're dealing with some necromantic power at B here. Any of you, do you have any knowledge?
Well, it just so happens I'm an expert. No, I don't have knowledge. What? People rise
You
from
were
dead.
in a town that had a dead body, so I didn't know if maybe that was walking. I mean, there's dead bodies in every town, but a walking dead body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, necro what?
Necromancy, the power of... It's a magical thing. Usually brings people back to the dead, deals with other dead things. Death magic, in a sense. Well, undead magic.
That don't sound too good now to me.
No, not good at all. Actually, should probably tie these gentlemen up and maybe question them somewhere that's not here. Safer. Do you have a jail back at Goldvale?
Well, I mean, we got some cells, but it's mostly for the on-off when he gets too drunk. He's really the only one who goes in there. But yeah, it hold him.
I will remind you, Brother Breed, that upon getting to Temple Town, you did realize, or you did notice that there was smoke rising from the temple.
Mm-hmm. I think taking him to Goldvale is a poor choice. This one entered the temple, and judging from the smoke over the hill, whatever was going to happen here has already happened there.
Oh.
I would keep this man from your homes, if possible.
Should we go, investigate that right now?
Yeah, look for survivors or anyone injured.
Well then, what are we doing with him unconscious? Not to be that person to ask about morals or anything. Was there a purpose behind leaving him breathing?
Well, we want to question him. See what information we can get out of him.
Don't much like killing people very much, but But yeah, okay. Whew.
And my order does not condone death by our own hand. That's why I pulled him out and made sure he would remain alive through his injuries.
I can honor that.
Life is not for us to take.
Lucas, come here.
Yeah.
How much rope you got?
I don't have any rope, but I could probably find some here in the temple.
Why did I ask you? Miriam, how much rope do you have?
I got plenty of rope. What do you need?
Can you tie these two up real nice and tight and have you and Lucas watch over them for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Preferably to something strong. Big Dog could probably carry his friend and escape.
I imagine that probably some of the more able-bodied folks around here would also be willing to help out on keeping a watch over him.
Yeah, we got these guys here that would be very willing to beat him to a pulp. So we'll post a watch right here in the center of town. We'll bring Goldvale stocks over. The ones that Ornoff frequently uses every once in a while when he gets out of control. Put a patty on that, and he shouldn't be moving. We can throw tomatoes at it. Maybe we'll have a whole festival tonight. Miriam shouts, "Hey, who wants tomatoes at this guy?" And then they're like, "Yeah, get some. I got a basket of tomatoes. It's been waiting for it."
What weapons did these guys have on them?
Did I know? I definitely said, but I don't know if I noted it. There was a spear, a great mace, like a huge, or great club is what Big Dog had. But I know there was a spear, a mace, and a great club. And then a lockpicking kit, and a sack of 75 gold. And then a copper ring on the pinky finger, which denotes wet work assassin. You would definitely notice that, Lila.
Mm-hmm.
No. And that is on the one that Lucas, ran through. He had the copper ring on his pinky finger.
I would just want to make sure that like those two are completely unarmed, like taking stuff off their belts, like checking like boots and stuff for any like hidden daggers and stuff, and just
I think
generally
the villagers,
neutralizing them.
The villagers will get the idea of what you're doing, and they're just going to strip him down to his undergarments and then shackle him to the stockade when it arrives.
All right. Serve him right. Okay.
And Brother Breathe, if you could give me a wisdom check.
That is a 16 plus 3. That is a 19.
So while the bandits are being tied up, you kind of just take in this visual. Tippletown has always been a peaceful village, one that was more about retribution, more about paying it forward. That the people that are currently disrobing this man, waiting for a shackle, and waiting to justly dole out punishment, were those people, the ones that came to the temple seeking aid, the ones that came to the temple seeking wisdom, sometimes being very injured, close to death, sometimes just emotionally. And you get the sense that the peace, that sort of tepid, like that still water, if you will, has slowly started to have ripples. You can definitely see the guys like laughing and joking over the boots and like jerking them off and being very rough with the two bandits that have been knocked out and who are like groggily responding, and looking up and seeing that the temple has the smoke. You are feeling more and more uneasy, unsettled, that something in your very core is starting to change. Not just with you, but with this whole place that you have come to call home is starting to change.
Where's Miko?
Give me a perception check.
That is dirty 20.
Okay. You start looking around for Miko. He's not in the town square. And you're definitely feeling this like unsettledness, this uneasiness, and just feeling very agitated, bothered. And you're starting to look around for Miko, and you find him. And he is sitting next to a pen that has a bunch of, or used to have a bunch of pigs in it. And there is a mama pig, and he is holding a piglet. And he doesn't notice you as you just kind of watch him silently. And he slowly sets the baby pig down next to the mama pig. The baby pig had like wandered away and gotten a little lost in the pen and was squealing, and he brought it over. And he's just busying himself ruffling the straw and laying down fresh straw. And he looks up at you and sees you and says, I noticed that the pig farmer was at Full Vale, and they looked like they needed fresh hay, so I took care of it.
You're fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
What?
Nothing. I think there were 2 more in there, if I remember correctly.
Pigs?
Piglets. I'm sure she's missing the rest of her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can look for them.
Be careful.
Yeah.
And Brother Breeve's going to go to... is there... go to one of the villagers he might know from Templetown. Like, do you have any water and some bread? Just simple food.
Yeah, we do. We took what provisions we had from our houses, but I'm sure that the trader wouldn't mind parting with some of the stuff that they had.
Just a loaf and 2 water skins.
Yeah. Of course. Anything. And he goes to fetch it.
Okay. And he'll stand. He'll wait for that gentleman to come back, kind of leaning up against a building, because he hasn't sat down the entire time since the fighting started.
The other villagers are going to Ned and Simon and asking, how to join the militia and how to post a militia here in Templetown. They want to know because they don't want this kind of thing to happen again. They're definitely shooken. They're definitely shaken, and they want to make sure that this town is protected, and they want to post a bailiff. They want to make sure that they have someone in town, and they're just badgering you with questions about how to figure that stuff out.
Hold on. Who? One of you at a time. Who's in charge here?
They look around, and you can definitely tell that there is no real sense of leadership. It's more, this town was ruled kind of as a woven community. When someone needed something, someone else had it. So as far as like having someone to lead and make the decisions, this town was a very rare gem in the world. It was somewhere that charity was the currency. And now that has broken. And now they're like, it's almost as if the US dollar lost all its worth, right? And they're like, I need to fix this. We need a new currency. We need a new leader. We need a new government. We need a new thing. Because that last thing left us so open, and we took it. And we don't want that to happen again. So they kind of look at you and like they're like, in all rights and reasons you are. We don't know.
All right. Well, listen, I know you're all probably scared. I know this sort of thing doesn't happen here or in Goldvale really a lot. But listen, we can talk about this in good time. But let's get these guys secured. We should probably check out what's going on up there with the smoke, and make sure everyone's all right, and then we can talk about all you want in the morning.
One of the older gentlemen comes up and grabs you by the shoulder and says, "Do you know about that mumbler magic? That one in the hooded robes, waving his arms around at us, mumbling some sort of foul magic. What do you know about it?"
Well, I don't know anything. I never saw the guy. Lila?
Yes.
Could you help out over here for a second?
What can I help with?
Well, this gentleman wanted to know about the what'd you call it? The mumbler magic? I figured. I mean, you seem to know more about magic than anyone else here. So,
is she a mumbler?
No, I don't believe so. What do you mean, mumbler?
You know, they mumble stuff. And then
like chanting?
Yeah. Mumbler magic, they're like.
I don't think I am the type of mumbler magician that you are worried about.
You certainly don't smell like one.
Thank you. I believe. Yeah, so I don't know a lot about what's going on. I just know the basics.
Haven't had a mumbler magic around here in at least 20, 30 years. Looks around for someone else to nod in agreement. Yeah, we haven't really seen any.
What happened then?
20, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a young little tyke. What was her name? Laurie, something like that. Lorelei, I don't know. She blew she blew off the roof of that there house right there, with just her hands. And then the Empire came, took her, and then that was the last time we saw of her. And since then, I've been learning not to trust them mumbler types.
Well, there are good ones out there, aren't there?
Good what? Mumblers? Well, the
People
only
who
one I
use
ever seen
magic.
blew off that roof right over there.
Okay.
And then the other one that I seen locked us up in a church, wanted to burn us alive.
Right. Yes.
I beg your
So
pardon,
you've
madam, but I
not
haven't seen a mumbler yet. That'd be
You've
safe for
not
me
had
to call
good-
friend.
Yes, not good experiences with
Yeah.
the magic users in the world.
No. If I were you, I'd stay far away from anyone that mumbles. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I will keep that in mind.
Wait a minute. What if?
You don't get my age without trusting that logic.
Well, sir, to question your logic, what if you're just trying to talk really quiet? Or what if you're trying to say something under your breath and you don't want your best mate to hear?
That's it. What I'm talking about is people that mumble in a different language. People that they start mumbling about something, they stare off really enchanted, and they start swirling their fingers and locking their knuckles and stuff like that. You ever seen somebody do that when they're talking about their friend under their breath?
Well,
I didn't think so.
Talga does it back in Goldvale all the time. Just stare
Well, you need
off
to
and
get
start
her checked
mumbling in
out.
another language.
You don't want
Well,
to trust any mumblers now, would you?
I just don't think it's a good policy to go around not trusting people just because they speak a different language.
Well, that policy has brought me to this ripe old age. What old age that is, I don't know. It's been a while.
You're safe now. There's no more mumblers in the town, and I just kind of like back away as quickly as possible.
I definitely follow Lila.
Has the gentleman come back with the bread and the water yet?
Yes, he starts coming back with bread, and you see that he has a larger package than just wineskins and bread, and he says, "Take this as a gift for coming and saving us."
This is too much.
There's no price on the value of what you did today. And he says, Tychus, come. And you see a young boy comes over. He says, "This is my son.
Hello.
We both would not be alive today if it weren't for you." And he said, this bread, it took me a day just to grind the wheat and make the flour, and my wife to bake the bread. And the water, it took me 15 minutes to pull from the well. That is not enough to compare what you've done for me. So he says, "I know that you are prideful. That is the way that you are with these monks here. So you're going to take this because it's for me and for my own self that I need to give it to you. So whatever you do with it, that's your business. But I need to do this for my son and for me."
I understand completely. Thank you.
And he gives you, they are well-stocked provisions, goat cheese, lovely crackers, some fresh vegetables and bread, and there's 2 water skins and a wine skin in there.
Okay. While they're having this conversation, I've gotten my supplies and everyone is backed away from this man who doesn't like mumblers.
Mumblers. He starts talking about citizens' rights and stuff.
I want to walk past him. Just because am I older than this man, or is he how old is this guy?
He's probably approximately the same age as you. Maybe You're probably a little older than him.
I want to walk close to him, like just kind of with his bundle kind of under my arm. I'll walk past him, and I want to just like kind of tap him on the shoulder and lean in close, and I just want to mumble just a incoherent sentence in Draconic. Just the most menacing combination of syllables that I can, and just kind of like tap him on the shoulder, look him dead in the face, and just mumble something, and keep walking.
How do you do this? I don't know what it is.
Intimidation?
Yeah, there it is. Okay. I was gonna see if he was gonna just freak out just by a generic roll.
Yeah, just I kind of
hearing a language that he doesn't recognize.
Yeah, just mumbling in an arcane language and doing weird things with my fingers. Like that entire description of he's like, I can't trust him, and I'm just like, bitch, I'm older than you. I'm as old as you are. You don't get as old as I am without dealing with your bigotry. Let's deal with that.
He just like
bias.
kind of stares at you, and then as you're walking away, you hear like, "Didn't know the temples had mumblers. Did you know the temples had mumblers?" And then somebody else saying,
we lost you. we heard and then your mouth was moving and we got nothing else.
Yeah, and then and that's it, and then they just trail off.
But I want to take this package over to the 2 gentlemen that are getting roughed up, that got their boots taken out, and just kind of make my way over to them with this bundle, and just kind of kneel down next to them, and taking, not necessarily like hand feeding them like they're royalty, but take some of the bread and some of the water and just off. Like, are they conscious at this point? Have they kind of regained?
I mean, big dogs definitely gain consciousness through this roughing up and everything. The other guy is a little bit more worse for wear. just because he's been hustled around. And they've tied them to the hitching post that you would normally tie a horse to.
Yeah, I will.
They're just kind of like dangling there, you know.
I'll check over the one who's slightly worse for wear and just make sure he's not going to bleed out anytime soon. Do you just want a medicine check for that, just to see?
Yeah, that's fine.
God, I have a +9. 28.
You definitely see that he sustained some injuries towards his middle section, and it's making him sick to his stomach. And convulsing and things like that. Definitely lost his dinner, so to speak. And he's bleeding from his mouth.
I'll use my last key point to healing hands the other guy. Get him also up by 8 hit points, and just kind of make it so that way he is not horrifically uncomfortable, and then just quietly sort of make sure that they have some food and water, and like, I'm not trying to make them super comfortable, but it's very much just like, here's some food.
Big Dog, he is dangling there and has taken whatever you had given him. And while you're checking over the other guy, he says, "Why are you doing this? By all rights, I should be dead. You know that, old man."
I do.
So why not give me the grace of another grave?
Because life isn't mine to take. And basic decency isn't yours.
We haven't had basic decency in this empire in many, many years.
You came to my house and asked for aid, and it was given freely. You asked for food. It too was given freely. And you burned it to the ground.
Well, when you put it like that, I'm destined for the chain, ain't I?
But if I let you burn in that fire, and I'm gonna get very close to him, if I let you burn, that makes me no different than you.
When you kill a man, it changes you. You start to see him everywhere. Hear his voice. I've heard a lot of voices, old man. And I've seen a lot of faces. But that one on the hill, you've seen him. He's stuck with me. Not in the way the other ones do, mind you. He's followed me. I don't know what this place is, but I don't like it. And he spits.
I see faces too. The ones I couldn't save. I hear the voices. I hear the families.
The people in the temple. There's some that survive. I don't know how many. But they've locked themselves up in a tower. And we figured we'd let them alone. They weren't our problem anyway. But you be careful. If there's anyone that's going to kill you, it's me.
I'll hold you to that.
Give me some of that cheese.
Hold it up and go. What's your real name?
It'll take me more than a bite of goat cheese to reveal that one to you, wouldn't it?
Holds up the wineskin.
All right. Jasper.
All right, Jasper. You want my advice for dealing with the faces? With the voices? Never failed them the same way twice. Whatever happened the first time, and kind of pulls himself up on his stick and goes, never let it happen again. And sort of turning to the crowd and go, treat them not kindly, but with decency. Treat them as if they needed your aid and you could provide. They have done crimes, but they're still people. And when we forget that, we forget that we are people ourselves. And kind of put his head down and make his very slow. He's suddenly moving very, very tired. And just
you hear the villagers kind of just mumbling, rumbling, like they've been told off by Dad.
Ned is gonna come up behind Brother Breeze and be like, "You heard him, no tomatoes, folks." Miriam, you keep an eye and make sure no one tosses tomatoes.
She's like holding a basket of tomatoes, and she's like, Goldvale, very different place. Lots of tomatoes.
Many tomatoes. So yeah, I'll turn to Simon and Ned.
In fact, Ornoff Finkerson's probably got the best skin of everyone, just from his acid treatments, just like frequently
massive
being washed.
exfoliated.
Yeah, he's the softest skin in the entire town.
His genes incredibly acid washed. It's amazing.
Wrestling in the mud with a goat and then getting barraged with tomatoes. It's like the best skin treatment you can get in Goldvale. You
heard it here first. But yeah, I'll go to Simon and Lila and Ned. Kind of get the four of us together. Well, Jasper told me there's apparently some survivors in the temple. If any of the men if any of the stronger folks are able to make the trek, this may not be a wasted trip.
All right, let's go talk to him. Simon's going to try to round up a couple of the more capable-looking folks about like, hey, we're going to go check out, make sure, like, try to figure out what's going on at this temple, but like we're going to leave like now.
Okay, what's your charisma score?
20.
Your charisma score is a 20?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're a sorcerer. You managed to get.
He doesn't know that yet.
7. Every once in a while, I forget the true nature of what is Matt, and I was like, "Oh right, that's right."
That means I'm gonna play correctly. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you managed to get 7 of the able-bodied guys to follow, and they're definitely looking at you as a guy in charge.
That's right. No.
Is there before they go, is there something I can give him as sort of a like, because could I give him my mask as sort of a, hey, we're friendly. Hey, look, this came from Brother Breathe. He's alive. He sent us to help, kind of thing. So that way our friends don't get rocks thrown at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
Now, I'll hand it off to Simon to go wave this, tell them I sent you. Duck, some of the younger monks like throwing rocks, but when they see the mask, they should be fine.
Good to know. Lila, you coming along?
Yeah, I'll come up with you.
All right.
I'll make the trip.
Okay.
We head out.
All right. And Brother Breathe, are you staying at the temple town?
I'm gonna stay in Templetown.
Okay.
Kind of just walking, for a little bit, walking around and just chatting with people and kind of just like helping me go find the piglets, and just kind of being a pseudo calming presence that isn't decked out in armor. But after about 5 minutes, my hips and knees start to hurt because I've exercised more in that 80-foot sprint. Finally catches up to me, and I grab myself a chair on a stoop somewhere and settle in.
All right. So yeah, you guys make your way up the road. Give me perception checks. So you 3. And then I'll do one for my generics. And Miriam and Lucas are both back in the town watching over our prisoners. So these are just villagers.
I got a 14.
Perception.
I got a 12.
Okay.
I got a 24.
So Lila, you can see that there was signs of conflict. It's probably at least a day old, if not more. That lead, that's blood splatter on the road that has dried up and kind of turned the soil black. And then it's definitely over to the right, and you can see an older campfire and a dead body that is kind of in some taller brush that looks to be the body of a villager.
I'm going to kind of walk over. Anything unusual about the dead body, or just dead villager?
Nope, it is a dead villager, and you can definitely tell that its throat's been slashed. And then the camp, as it's an older camp, lots of misguarded food and stuff. It's very sloppy, messy. You determine that this might have been one of the older bandit camps, and it's not been used since for at least 2 days. The fire is definitely very cold.
I pointed out to the party, please make a note of this. Whenever we're on our way back down, we should give him a proper burial. Maybe there's some relatives that would like to say final goodbyes.
I was gonna say, turn to the villagers with anyone recognize who this is? Or...
Yeah, they do. They recognize.
Bend down, make sure the eyes are closed, kind of put it to a final rest.
Okay.
Mark where the place is so we can take it back on our way back down.
You can definitely tell the guys that are following you, Simon, are getting agitated. They're out for blood kind of thing.
All right, look, we're right now focus is on going and getting everyone, making sure everybody's safe. Justice will come. I promise, all right?
All right.
Come on.
Okay, yeah. Definitely can tell that they're still kind of agitated, but they follow along. You get up to where... I don't think any of you have ever been up to the temple, but it starts to get cooler. You can definitely tell there's a temperature difference, but it is spring. And you can definitely see that it takes a while for you to get up there. And there is old snow that has started to melt in different shady pockets, sides of trees and things like that. And the air starts to smell just a little bit more crisp. There's still a hint of smoke in the air, but you three have definitely noticed that the higher you get, something changes inside of you, where you feel not like you're about to go walking into a temple that has been locked up by some bandits and some monks are taken hostage, but for some reason you feel like at peace. Like this isn't as stressful as you thought it would be, for whatever reason. And your pace quickens, and you arrive at the temple. And when you arrive, that good feeling, it's almost like good feeling's gone, where you see that the temple itself, the door has been smashed open and crumbled down, and there's smoke billowing out of the door. And give me a perception check as we arrive. Villagers are talking. They have been up here before, so.
10.
Yeah.
16 this time.
All right.
23.
So you can hear an echo of an echo of an echo of that same celestial chanting. I say it's celestial, but usually when you're using that celestial language, you're using it in a godly way, that pastoral kind of language. And this is not. It doesn't sound peaceful. It's not exactly demonic either. It sounds far older than that.
Can
But
I
it's still
pick up any of the words as someone who speaks Celestial? Or is it?
Yes, it would be very similar to someone who speaks Spanish and then someone who is talking in Latin. Like you could pick up kind of parts of it, but it's old. Yeah, so you pick up the word dominance. You pick up the word ascension. And you pick up the word rightful.
Okay. Shall we go in, gentlemen? There's some chanting down the hallway. I would be on a guard.
All right then, let's move all quiet like.
Your old man, that mumbler guy, is not with you, but he'd be like, it's the mumblers. Yeah, okay. So you go up to the door. It is choked with smoke. The villagers would have a very hard time going through this without just lighting up a lung. And it's very hard to see inside. But as you can duck down, you can definitely tell that the fire is mostly the roof of this inner, the vestibule area, and the roof itself, the fire was put out, but it's still smoldering and it's filling that entire vestibule with smoke. But on that, like past that, you can kind of see the light of a courtyard, and the rest of the temple looks like it has been relatively untouched. But you don't see anyone inside so far.
Are we able to pick up hearing-wise that chanting, or is that still just...
Ned, you do not hear anything. It's deathly quiet. Simon, you definitely hear it. Like, it's an echo and an echo, like somebody kind of talking in a gymnasium, and it's just bouncing off the wall. And you're like, there's...
Yeah, I hear that, Nat. Lila, you hear that?
Yeah, still there. Can't really pinpoint where it's coming from.
I think I need to get my ears checked.
Yeah, the other villagers are like, no.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay. The villagers are definitely unable to get through the wall of smoke.
Okay, I just tell them like just wait out here. If somebody comes out that's looks like they need help, help them. If they come out, they look like a bandit, they look like one of those rogue boys, then
beat them with a stick.
Yeah.
Got it.
Was no one listening to Brother Breathe?
What? We'll beat them kindly with a stick?
No, don't beat them with a stick. If they're injured, don't kill. Well, yes, I hope that goes without saying. Don't kill anyone. But if they're a bandit, just make sure they're not going to die, and then tie them up and just leave them alone.
All right. Well, I mean, if though they were coming me with a stick.
Okay. Yes, one if self-defense.
All right. That's fair.
Defend yourselves if you need to. Try to keep, if you encounter anyone and you need to find them, try to keep them alive for questioning. That's all I'll say.
All right. You go into the temple and you hear them say, "All right, somebody grab a really big stick."
I thought I was very clear.
Yeah, you go inside, and the vestibule is kind of this small little, like a very small sitting area. The benches have been burned, and up above you, you see that the ceiling is like charred black, and probably unsettling that you're standing right underneath it, and could collapse at any moment. So, hearing. Yeah, and then as you go further into the temple, the smell of smoke is still there. It's just not as choking. And you, Simon and Lila, both hear that chanting that is just very loud and echoing. And it's kind of getting louder to your right. This is like a square hallway, and you're walking around the courtyard. So like you can kind of look straight right now and see the courtyard with all the herb garden. There's like a nice little patio there, and kind of where the monks just go and prune and be at peace with their St. Joseph little vines and things like that. But you kind of hear it a little bit stronger to the right. And Ned, you don't hear anything. You hear a bird chirping that has found its way into the ceiling of this temple, and you can see it like darting back and forth.
Do you want to go straight for it, or do you want to try and maybe find the survivors first? Maybe there's all the survivors.
Brother Breed and Jasper told us there was something like a tower that they were locked up in. That's actually a good question. Brother Breed, did you clarify that?
Nope. I just said you did see me chatting with like just the two of them, so Jasper could be either one of those gentlemen, as I was making sure.
Did you share the information of like there's people in a tower?
Yes.
Okay.
I just the name I used was Jasper, not Big Dog.
Okay. Then I'm like, well, like I'm looking around for a tower, I guess.
So giving a passive perception kind of thing where you're like looking, making it make sense where you would go to the courtyard and look up to see what the highest point of the roof would be. And you can see that there is a tower with a bell on it, and looks like you can see some windows, and it looks about 3 stories tall, and it's the highest point of the temple that you can kind of see, and it's at like that right back corner of the temple from where you're standing.
So it is like the voices are like in that same general direction.
Yeah, oddly enough, when you go out to that courtyard, you don't hear the chanting as much anymore. And then when you step back into the temple, you can kind of hear it, and it's very much in your head and very obvious. It's very much like someone is very loudly chanting, and for you it might be disconcerting that Ned can't hear this, but maybe he got hit on the head a little bit too hard. He is going deaf.
Does it seem to be getting louder or like more intense? Like, is the tempo of it picking up?
Definitely, it's not getting more louder until you like start approaching, and you can kind of just hear it a little bit more. But it's definitely droning in that same tone, same rhythm. And as you get closer, you can kind of almost feel like it's like a heartbeat from a breath, almost.
All right, I do not like whatever that is, so I think we should investigate that first.
Whatever what?
A quick metagaming question that I need to ask all three of you for your personal characters. Simon, has your character ever taken the life of an NPC or enemy, ever in backstory or current game?
At this point in time, no, I don't think so.
Ned
Not besides animals.
and Lila? Yes. Okay.
There was one less session.
So Lila, make a will save. Lila, make a will save.
Yeah. Great. Oh, cool. Okay. Not that bad. 17.
Okay. As you're walking and you're listening to Simon and Ned talk about this sound and how weird it is, and you see up in front of you a dwarven rogue that you remember dispatching years ago in like a street brawl, something to do with the history of your families and with those darn dwarves from Dinas, and it's just standing there looking at you. And you definitely recognize this gentleman as someone that you've had many run-ins before, and you finally watched the life drain from this guy's eyes. And this dwarf just looks at you with his braids on his beard. And as you look, you can definitely see that his braid is caked with blood. And he turns around very slowly and walks back towards the sound of the voices.
This is not going to be a fun trip, I can tell right now. Any of you see that dwarf in the middle of the road in the hallway?
See what?
Long story short, I killed a dwarf once, and he was just standing there. He's going in that direction. I do think we probably should follow him. Just, if anything crazy happens to me, just hit me with a stick, okay? Just, that seems to be the best plan of attack.
All right.
Hit me with a stick. If something crazy happens, not right now.
That should have been the title of the episode. Just hit it with a stick.
That's next week, I think. A stick in the hand is worth two in the bush.
I'm gonna follow.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you can hear a voice that you are unfamiliar with. You hear that chanting, and then all of a sudden you hear, just in your head, daughter, sister, trusted mom, take her love. You have fed my kingdom without even knowing. All trivial. And it just echoes. Definitely a voice that you do not recognize, but yet sounds familiar to you in a way that you cannot describe. Some primal thing inside you awakens, like, I've heard this voice before, somewhere.
Okay. Still just hearing the chanting, right, Simon? Nothing strange.
There is another angel that walks with you. Are you not aware?
Who hears that?
No.
Is that
Just her.
just her? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No? There's only one. Just one.
So many things you have left to learn, little one. Lila, daughter, sister.
Just like take a breath and I'm just holding onto the clasp of the Raven Queen.
Okay. Matt, make a will save.
Sure. Now you say will. Is that wisdom or?
Sorry, wisdom. Yep. Wisdom.
Okay.
Damned new additions.
My
making it
3.5
different.
is creeping on me.
We're rolling for.
That, my good dungeon master, is going to be a 5.
You see Matt stop in his tracks, Lila, and you've noticed it because you've been asking him questions, and you see that Matt has stopped in his tracks, and he cannot go any further. And Matt, you still have control of yourself. It's just that you seem like you've hit a wall. You're like, what in the world? It's almost like somebody has tied a string to your back. You can't go forward, but you can go back. You can't go forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I take a step back.
And Ned walks freely. He just walks right in front of you. Just like,
Can I take another step forward after taking a step back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I try to take another step forward.
You stop.
All right, y'all, there is some weird magic bad juju happening here. I do not like this one bit. I try to reach out in front of me.
Oh yeah, I grab his hand and try to yank him.
Okay, Matt.
Uh-huh.
What's the damage for your shocking grasp?
Oh. That is, well, now as a level 6, it's going to be 2d8.
Okay, go ahead and roll that for me.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no.
Unintentional PvP. I'm so sad that I'm 80 years old and need a nap.
That is 13 points of lightning damage.
Okay, so Ned's like, what's Simon grabs a hold of your forearm and you're like, I don't know. And then the whites of your eyes just glow. Wings explode from your back and crackling energy binds your arm to Ned, and you're just locked in this shocking grasp as it explodes with lightning energy. And Ned, you take all that energy and you're like, oh, you definitely feel your heart is being just eased. And Lila, you hear that voice. Do you know now?
I have learned to not listen to the voices in my head as long as they are not in the form of a raven. I have learned not to listen to the voices in my head. Just try really hard.
And then the grasp is released, and Ned, you fall back 5 feet and just you've just been released from a very electric thing.
Do I have
there are wings on your back that are crackling with lightning energy. That are golden, and it's just
I'm on the ground, perched up on my hands, just
Dude, what? What tarnation did you do to me?
I did not. It's not really my type of magic to just give people wings. What did you do?
The chanting stops. Roll perception checks, and we'll say for Simon, get a disadvantage because you're a little bit distracted with these lightning.
Yeah, sure.
Do I roll perception as well?
Yep.
That is a 9 for me.
13.
Okay.
18.
Both Lila and Ned hear the sounds of footsteps charging down the hall. It definitely just sounds like somebody with flip-flops. Sounds like more than one pair of footsteps echoing down the hallway, and you hear just like a hushed, hissing whispers. This way.
Simon, where's the mask? Where's the mask? Where's the mask before we get hit with sticks?
Mask.
Yeah, you produce it. It's like, and you're just crackling with lightning energy right now.
Ned is gonna scramble up to his feet, still like kind of going back and forth between the people coming down the hall and Simon.
Okay. And I will just say that Ned, you are about 10 feet in front of Lila and Simon here, and around the corner, about 25 feet in front of you, two robed individuals that are in darker robes. They do not look kind. They do not look like a benevolent brother breathe. These guys have like dark, sunken-in eyes, and you immediately get this smell from them, this putridness that you recognize from that undead guy that you had to dispatch, Ornoff's dad. You smell that smell again, and they spot you, and they say, they whisper something in that old celestial language, and you hear them say Undercroft. Something, Undercroft. Blah, blah, blah. And then they both raise up their hands, and they dissolve into a wall of black smoke. You have no idea if they're still there, but it's a huge wall of black smoke in front of you.
No, we're coming to help y'all!
No, Ned, those were the mumblers. No, I think those were the people that we were trying not to come in contact with. They looked very similar to... Do they look similar to the priest that I...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very similar to the priest who was in the church trying to set people on fire. So, yes. I don't know what just happened here, though. Simon, can you
still
move?
have
Or you...
Can I try to move them at all?
Yeah, you can kind of move them, and they crackle in the air. And like I said, they're golden feathered wings, and they're just kind of pulsing with lightning energy.
All right. I do not know what this is all about. I don't know what, Ned, maybe you might sprout some wings here in a second.
Can you move forward? Please.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I try to take a step. Like, it's like, are we following them? Like, what are we doing?
Taking a step forward would be going in their general direction.
All right, then I try to do that.
You do it freely.
Okay.
You no longer hear the chanting.
All right. Don't like this at all. But those two, maybe they've got some answers. So let's go get them.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna table all this for now.
Yep. I'm not in the mindset to comprehend what might be happening.
So save some monks first. Get some answers. That later.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Backwards? So are we going backwards? We're avoiding the smoke, correct? Are we walking through the ominous fog?
Is it
that
smoke?
was people?
Is there like a little stone on the ground that I can like toss forward into the smoke?
Sure. Yeah. You find one next to the courtyard. You just kind of toss some gravel. You hear it echo. And as you kind of talking about moving forward, that smoke starts to dissipate, and the fog starts to kind of dissolve, and you see that there is no one there. But there are two very black-looking smudges on the ground where the two people were once standing.
All right, let's keep moving forward.
Lila, you would recognize this as like a powerful magic that is not natural. It's like a chaotic magic. and it's kind of like if a wild sorcerer were to cast a fireball, it would like glass the immediate area and scar it forever. This is that kind of scarring. It is not something that would go away with just like washing it away with water. This is a magic scar that will likely stay here forever, because it is leaking chaotic energy with these two black smudges on the ground. And yeah, go ahead.
Never mind, it flew out of my head. I forget what I was going to say.
You round the corner, and you see that all the way down on the end of the hall, I mean, there are doorways that look like there's a library and a lab with, stove and alchemist table and things like that. And all the way down at the edge, or at the end of the hallway, you see the signs of a struggle. More of those black marks on the walls of this door. But nothing seems to have broken this door. And as you get closer to it, if you're continuing, you start to feel a little bit more at peace, a little bit more at ease with things, a little bit more balanced. Your heartbeat kind of calms back down. And Simon, you start to realize that you can control your wings. That every time you breathe in, they go up, they come back down, and the crackling seems to have kind of dissipated a little bit.
Okay. I want to try to make them like as small as I can, just like really contract them in.
Yep, they get tucked in. And you just kind of like you like have a little bit of a heebie-jeebie when they go all the way in. Yeah.
Are they
like you
still
yawned really
visible?
good. Nope. They just.
Okay. Just like kind of pat around on my back, see if I can feel them anywhere back there.
Did you have metal armor?
I was not wearing armor.
Is it just fabric cloth kind of thing?
Yep, just kind of normal clothes. Like
I will say that you are shirtless, because that was a very, that it was very much like it is.
He's very skinny. He's very wiry, skinny.
Is he like pre-Captain America, like pre-serum Captain America?
Yeah, essentially. I got a strength of 10, y'all. Like it's.
Yeah. So yeah. Ned and Lila, give me a perception check.
14.
24 again.
Okay. So not only do you see that on Simon's back there are what looks to be some sort of ancient runic design on his back, that's definitely celestial, and it is written in both celestial and what you recognize as storm giant runes. And there are like thunder symbols all the way through it, and it's in the shape of wings. And Lila, you would immediately recognize that as this is a fellow Aasimar in the flesh.
Oh. You're the thing! No, I'm the thing!
What?
You might be the thing!
What do you, what thing?
This makes so much more sense now. Okay, I thought it was the crazy.
Oh, it does? Does it?
Yeah, I'd really like to know how this makes sense.
Ned, you also notice that his nipples are a little bit hard.
That's friendship right there.
That electric energy,
we are high up, high elevation. It's cold mountain air up here.
Hater, shush.
Well, that being said, don't worry. The wings will go away momentarily. They don't stick around that long.
What? Okay. Why do I have wings?
So, how can I put it? You're not fully human. You're not just human. Part of you and part of your ancestry is angelic.
Huh. And now it is deciding to make itself known.
at a certain age in your life, you just seem to have brought it late. In a way.
You and I are going to have a conversation later about
Right.
all this. Right now,
Sure.
we still need to find these monks.
Yes. We do.
Turn
You'll get used
You approach the door.
As Simon goes past Ned, Ned slaps him on the arm and is like, I can't believe you never told me!
Yeah, so you approach the door, and it's a door with no handle, but it is wooden, and it is covered with that black, tarry-looking magic that smells of just that death, like a rotting wound. And the door doesn't look damaged at all. There is no keyhole, and it's just a wooden door.
What do y'all think?
Do you want to knock?
Sure.
Roll perception check.
10.
16.
17.
Okay. You barely make out the echo of like a heart whisper. And that's it.
I think there's someone in there. Simon,
Hello?
try saying something.
Hello? Brother Breve sent us.
You hear the door just go, and it gets released. And you see an older looking face peek around the corner. Brother Breve?
Yes,
He's
look.
still alive?
Yes. I have his mask. We're friends of his. My name's Simon. This is Ned. We are guardsmen from Goldhaven. Brother Breve sent us up here to help out and see if there was anyone still here.
Yes, we're under siege. You might want to get in here before the other ones come back.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. Wait, what other ones?
The ones with the robes.
How many of them are there?
I didn't get a good look. They've been shooting things at us. They caught half the library on fire.
God, Ned, the villagers outside.
Well, it might have been the other two guys that we just saw here in robes.
Kind of just evaporated.
Oh, yes, they do that.
What?
They can't have gone far.
What do they want?
Well, we haven't quite worked that out. You see, we were trying to research it and trying to lock ourselves in the library, but the tower door's just a bit stronger, made out of elven wood. The library, they stormed right in. We took the back door, you see, and they burned half the library when we were researching it, and we didn't quite come up with anything.
Researching what?
Researching who these people were. They were under siege. They took out our door. You saw in the front, yes?
Yeah.
And we had a bit of time to just discern maybe who they were, because they were chanting in an old language we couldn't really figure it out. So we went to the
Time to do
library,
an academic search.
and we thought, about study, to find out.
If you say that they're going to be coming back, can we maybe not be in the hallway having this conversation? It does feel like it's a little bit long.
Yeah, he's just like having it at the door. Oh, yes, but opens the door, and you see two other monks on the stairwell of a tower. That's stairwell leading up, and one of them has a candelabra, using it as a spear. And he says, "Brother Tobias, lower it!" And he's like, "Have at you!" All right.
don't think I won't use this. Yes, of course, and he, the guy that goes, that's standing next to you says, make sure that you seem a little bit afraid for him, for his sake. It hurts his pride.
Hold on there. We come in peace. We do not mean any harm.
You better not. He's posed himself a little bit higher on that one. He says, come on up, it's quite comfortable. And you go up to the next level.
We close the door behind us, right?
Yeah. They say, hey, where is Brother Breathe?
He's back down in Templeton. He did quite a number on a couple of them bandits down there. How many? Is it just you three here in the tower?
Yes, I'm afraid. We got separated from the others. We have a feeling they're somewhere in the undercroft, or the kitchen there. There's a basement. The undercroft. Yes. That's where we would keep our members that have passed on, as they say. It's a tomb.
That's not good.
Yes.
Right.
I agree with that. You see, well, two things really. First off, the two cloaked figures that we said just like evaporated into smoke, they did mention the Undercroft. And secondly, why this is equally as bad, there's a slew of like necromantic things, beings, just magic in general happening in this vicinity. Yes, it's not fantastic. So the fact that you just mentioned that there's a whole cavern of undead monks, slightly jarring for the moment.
Well then, he looks over at his others, and he says, "Do you know where we keep our tomes for necromancy?" And Marcus says, "Yes, in the library." You wouldn't by chance know if it's in the burned part or the unburned? And they say, "Well, there's only one way we can find out. You wouldn't by chance accompany us to the library as we might go and pull out the texts, maybe from the old histories, and see what kind of necromancy we're working with?"
How long do you think that's going to take?
Well, the spirits of scientific discourse. We have no answer.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Look, y'all, like I'm all about like maybe I don't want to go in there blind, but I also don't want to like wait around to give them time.
The monks are like, we understand. You're a little intimidated by the intelligence that you might be holding in the library. Fear not. Fear not. It is not as intimidating as you might say to a bear as a pup. We could walk you through, maybe perhaps teach you to read if you wish.
You know, that is a very generous offer that I believe I'll have to take at another time. Yes?
Simon, we need these answers, so you might have to pick up a book. I know time is kind of the essence, but these are answers that we probably need to like take back to Brother Breathe and maybe figure out why they're here in the first place. None of us know anything about necromancy.
Hang on a sec, Mr. Sir. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Yes, it's Marcus.
Brother Marcus here. You said they couldn't have gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you say that?
Well, when we were being chased around the temple and such, we didn't first think about coming up into the tower. I have no idea why they couldn't open the door. It was a simple push after, a couple of kicks maybe. But it seems like their magic was stopped somehow by the door. But before that, there was a right good chase As you can see, Brother Lucian here is very nimble. He used to win the springtime races every year here with the sticks. Where we do a relay around the temple. Lucian, always the fastest one. He witnessed one of them drop to his knees, puff into a black of smoke, and appear right before his eyes, not at the end of the hallway. So he had to turn around, come back the other way, and it was quite a game of cat and mouse. So that's kind of how we determined that they can't go very far with this sort of magic disciplinary travel. But that is our only evidence, I would say, sadly.
So it's entirely possible that these two fellas disappeared back down into this undercroft, and now we've got two active necromancer thingies in a tomb full of dead bodies?
When you put it that way, it's a bit more unsettling.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great situation, if you ask me.
Just said.
Right. Well, the tomb hasn't been. Well, no.
Sorry.
The tomb hasn't been opened in at least 12 years. We typically seal it off every time, to keep anything from coming in or coming out. But you pose a good question. In the spirit of scientific disputes, we could investigate.
Who's the last person that went down into the undercroft?
Well, he died, obviously. That was, who was it? And he's asking Brother Tobias. And they were kind of thinking about it. Who was it? Was it Brother Cluckin? No, that was years ago. Yes. The names, they all blend together. It's 12 years ago. Who's the last one? And they said, it was Brother Carlius. He was our last potions keeper. Brother Carlius, he passed, sadly. Old age, of course, as most of us do. Except one. Rancid poisoning. That one, very bad. But we learned a valuable lesson about alchemy from his death, unfortunately. Yes. But yes, Kylius was the last burial that we've had here.
Okay, maybe I should have been more specific. Is there anyone still alive that's been down into the undercroft?
Well, we don't typically need to service it much. We don't really believe in keeping the spirits in any sort of comfort. So we don't service it. We don't keep any candles lit down there. It's very dark. Yeah. So, no. We seal it up and wait for the other ones to walk their untimely rope, as they say. And Tobias, he's messing around with a tea kettle, and he just hands you a cup of tea. And we're going to cut over to Brother Breed for a second. Mm-hmm. As we're getting the town kind of settled, and the stocks have finally arrived, and they're about to put Big Dog and his friend in a more secure, stable place. You can definitely tell that Jasper is more willing to do what the town needs him to do. He's not struggling. And anytime he catches a glance at you, he just kind of stares right through you and then shackles himself. And roll perception.
Do 19 on the die for a 25.
You feel a wind coming that is very much like if you were swimming. The temperature of the water is quite cool, and you can kind of feel like a warm undercurrent kind of pass by. You feel the exact opposite. That it was warm and gentle, and you hear a dog kind of whine off in the distance.
and then you feel cold. Like a cold breeze kind of brush past your knees as you're sitting down. You have taken a short rest. And you see that a wind has kind of brushed by, and you haven't noticed before, but you definitely notice now that there is an individual walking by, or it seems like he had walked by, and it's a middle-aged man, doubly beard, and he's wearing farmer's clothes with a pitchfork, and he's just toddling along and watching what's happening at the stockade for a second, and then keeps toddling along. And you also see in the breeze blows by, a bird flaps and perches on his shoulder. This is let's say a pigeon, a gray pigeon. Flaps out of the sky and lands on his shoulder. He keeps tottering along. The wind seems to have followed him in.
Which way did he come from? Up the hill?
You didn't see him pass you by. You felt the wind, and then for some reason it's like you didn't even notice, but there he is in your periphery, walking away from you, as if he had passed by you, but he didn't.
Okay. I will gently haul myself up from the chair that I took a very brief nap in. Kind of haul myself up and moving over to him and calling out, "Sir, do you need assistance? Anything that I may provide?"
Where's your thing? There it is. Give me perception.
That is another 19 on the die, so another 25.
Okay. He turns around and looks at you, and you immediately are hit with this rancid smell. But he passes it off and starts to speak to you as if you were another neighbor. This is no neighbor. Just heading back to the village.
Back towards Goldvale? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Seems to be the likely answer. It's where everybody else seems to be heading after this business here settles out.
So, given the smell and the because I'm not 100% sure if it was discussed from the two buckets if they had that rancid smell with the first body.
I don't remember if it was openly discussed or not when they came back to town about noticing a rancid smell or not. But he was dead.
Corpse. So
yeah. Corpse doesn't smell too hot.
But he smells bad. Like you're like, like a rotten tooth or something. That's just, yeah.
Well, if to be frank, friend, you may want to consider a bath before you go to Goldvale.
He laughs. Of course, you know. He says, I bathe with the pigs. Not in mud, mind you. In the water. And his pigeon kind of coos a little bit, and he's like, well, we've got to get going.
That's a lovely bird you have there, sir. What's their name?
Oh, this bird. Oh, he's just a bird. He's my friend here. I feed him and he stays with me. Give me a perception check. Insight. Give me insight.
Same bonus. Great. And another 19. I swear I'm not making this
Oh my
up.
god.
Okay. You definitely tell that was a bald-faced lie, that he is like searching for it, and then he like looks back at you, but not fully, and says, "Anything I can do to help you, friend?"
You can help yourself out by being more honest with me. Let's start there.
Okay. You don't trust him. I'm just trying to determine something. Okay, so you don't trust him, and you can definitely tell when he comes up to the bird that he's doing things with his hand that are not natural. When he says, "Can I help you, friend?" And he does this kind of like contortion with his hand. And he is going to be casting a spell. Okay. So let's roll initiative just to see if he gets it off before you hit him.
Not a 19. My hot streak has ended. That is a dirty 20, please.
Okay. You get it off. You can take a turn before him, but he is definitely casting a spell on you. As a farmer. And Pigeon is... so he's up in the air.
So Pigeon is taken off. Okay. I'm just gonna move like directly up to just very, it takes me like 2 steps to get up to him.
Yeah, he's very close.
And I just want to like grab the hand and sort of prevent it from moving. Basically grab the wrist and try to immobilize it so it hurts to move the hand.
All right. I guess give me the opposed grapple checks on that one.
Oh shoot! Can I initiate grapple with Dex? I keep forgetting.
I am not too sure about that one. My
the grappler always rolls strength. The target can the defender can use strength or acrobatics or athletics or acrobatics. This got worse for me. Okay. That's a 6.
Okay. He and then he is going to be completing his spell. You are going to need to do a Constitution save unless you have any other reactions and things that you want.
Oh boy! Is it a missile attack?
It is a ray.
No, that is not a thing I can do.
Yeah, he is casting Ray of Sickness on you.
Okay, I was gonna say I can deflect missiles and I can slow fall. So is he pushing me? Because if he's gonna push me, I'm fine. Hit me with that telekinetic shove. Oh god, why does it gotta be a con save?
I literally was like, you could probably do Ray of Sickness, and then I was like, oh wait, that's a con save. Ooh, that's a con save.
For a dude in his 80s, for the audience at home, I have a con of 6. So whatever I roll gets a -2. Natural 20, sir.
All right.
Well, damn.
So a green light produces from his hand. You do not see the pigeon anymore. You feel like acid coming up from your throat, but you manage to swallow it back down. And he's like, "Oh, you feeling all right? Here, let me help you." And he tries to put his hand on your shoulder. What do you do?
What's the damage on the ray?
That would be 10. And on a successful save,
I think it's just half.
on a hit. So, yeah, the target would take. That's a ranged spell attack. With that close quarter, I can't remember about the pluses or minuses on this.
Ranged at within melee is a disadvantage.
That's what I thought. All right.
Unless
Let's do that then.
it's because if it's a save, if it's a save,
I think it's.
Well,
Ray
it's
sickness
definitely a
is
ranged. Yeah.
You roll to attack, and then if you hit, the target makes the saving throw.
And your AC is.
17.
He would not hit. He rolled 7s. So,
Okay.
I would say that he misses the ray.
Okay.
As you like jerk, trying to grab his hand, it just kind of sputters off to the side, and it hits the wood behind you on the house that you're leaning up against. You notice that the house is now it's like got a little bit of a blackness on it, and the wood kind of gnarls, like it's instantly dried up. And he's like, "Can I help you, friend?" And tries to grab your shoulder.
So I'm gonna reach out with my hand again, and I'm going to I'm gonna try to hit him quick, just trying to just like putting my hand on his chest with that melee attack. Here's with my bare hands.
Big old bare hand.
Big rar. That is a 7. That is a 19 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
So I'm gonna unarmed. So I'm gonna do my cool unarmed strike. For 7 bludgeoning. So just like a hit to the chest. But I'm also going to I'm going to use Hand of Harm.
Okay.
Because this gentleman tried to poison me. And so just kind of put my hand to his chest and say,
"Are you immune to poison as a monk at level 6?
Not to level 10.
Okay. I didn't know which one comes first, disease or poison.
Yeah. I think they're actually both level 10. They're together.
Okay, cool.
But sort of taking my hand, putting it to his chest and being like, "I'm fine, friend. Are you well?" And I would like to use Hand of Harm and poison him. And just kind of like basically make him like kind of give him vertigo, just like really ring his bell and just like ruin his day.
Okay. Is that a con save?
Con save difficulty of 14. Or no,
He
is
rolled a
that
3.
oh no, I'm sorry,
rolled
that's
a 3, so I
that's
don't know
stunning. Hand of Harm just does it.
Okay.
So that's cool. So I'm just like, "No, friend, are you feeling all right?" And I just like hit him in the chest and like basically tickle his liver and his kidneys until all the toxins get dumped into his system. And then I want to turn and yell,
let me actually roll one more thing.
okay. Oh, is the bird gonna go for my eyes?
No. Yeah, instantly his concentration fails, and you see, like, as you hit him, from your punch emanating out is this oily robe covering this guy, and you see his face instantly loses that health and his cheeks become more gaunt. His flesh is more white. His teeth become gnarly and sharp. That comforting, welcoming face is now gone and replaced with this like soulless-looking man with balding hair that's turned white, and eyes that are so red around the iris that it's like they're growing like fat in the veins. And he just like looks at you and just pukes. Putrid, like if you've ever smelled vulture vomit, like that just comes out.
Very specific, but I got it 100%. Excellent.
So specific.
How many other guards folk went up? Because like how many are left?
So I would say
we brought
because you had like 3 dozen people in the church, and only 7 of them went up to the temple. So you have quite a bit of people, and you have Lucas and Marion.
Okay. I want to call. I'll call out to Miko, and to I'll sound the alarm, kind of just like, anyone? I could use some assistance, and possibly some forged gloves if you have them.
Okay. So they would enter into an initiative, and and it's just sickened.
Yeah, he's just poisoned. So he's making any actions or anything he does is a disadvantage until the end of my next turn.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, he's gonna fail that. Trying to cast a spell and get away from you. So he's going. That's a casting spell, so he doesn't get his disengage. So you have an attack of opportunity.
Yes, I will. Take
Hello, kitty. It's a kitty.
Look at that cat. My
cat has entered the chat.
Cats have left me alone this game. It's very weird.
Cat chat.
Okay. So yeah, as he turns and runs, I'm gonna do a similar. My usual stunning strike if I figure out if I hit. As a 17 plus 7, 24.
That hits.
To hit this man on the way out. And this time I'm going for the kidney tickle. And I'm gonna stunning strike him to try and keep him from going anywhere. So D6. That's a D8. Or no, I'm gonna one-hit this. So 7 bludgeoning, and he has to make a DC 14 con save.
Knowing how my rolls have been,
at disadvantage because he's still poisoned.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Nope. All right. So yeah, he turns and
just kind of thump him, like trying to stop him from going anywhere before other people can come help.
Yeah, you hit the side of his kidney, and at this point, when you had called out for help, they really didn't know what was happening. They saw a man vomiting in front of you, but then as soon as he turns around and hit him in the back with your fist, that they kind of instantly recognize aggression. So then they started charging toward him.
They quickly fuck up my monk.
Go over to it and dispatch this man and drag him to the ground before he starts shouting curses in a language that you do not understand. And you also notice the pigeon is nowhere to be found.
Okay. Kind of as they're trussing him up, I'll let whoever seems to be in charge, if somebody brought over forged gloves, having them put them on put them on his fingers, cinch them tightly. That should prevent him from doing anything unsavory.
The old man comes up. What are the gloves for?
In case he starts mumbling.
I knew it. Mumbler magic. Right in here. He smells foul. Is that all them mumblers? They smell foul.
How do I smell, friend?
You smell alright.
And he turns towards one of his friends.
He's like, Pretty, better get yourself in the bath.
Yeah.
I'll turn to Mr. Mumbles. This man was headed to Goldvale, and I worry about our friends at the temple. I need you to stay here and not let anyone down the road. Can you do that for me?
The old man looks at you and says, "Well, Troy, if they start mumbling, I'll turn hightail. I mess with mumbler magic, you know."
Have you tried hitting them with a stick? Not too hard, just knock them about a little.
Freddy, get me a really big stick.
Yeah, and he goes off.
And there's a long minute where he's standing in the road looking at the person as he's getting tied up, because he really doesn't want to go to the temple. That is the last place this dude wants to go. For that Brother Breathe wants to go. And without telling Miko where he's gone, he's going to start heading up the trail up towards the monastery.
Okay.
Moving not at a run, but definitely with a little more sense of urgency.
Okay. And then our other party, we were investigating the library or the under.
I'm not sure we made a decision yet. We're still in the tower.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Like, I know we need answers and information, but I'm afraid that if we go and get that, by the time we get that information, whatever they might be doing down there in that Undercroft is already going to have happened. So that's why my vote is to go to the Undercroft first.
I understand the logic behind there. And I kind of agree with you. Probably it's safer to get rid of the problem before we start doing research for hours. But what if the research will help us get rid of the problem?
Exactly. Expediency is a fool's defense.
I love this. Where he's just politely like, I don't like you, but I'm going to be really polite.
Yep. Simon has manners. All right. I guess the question is, do we want to go in, like, maybe blind, sure, or do we want to wait and maybe have to deal with, like, a bunch of zombie monks?
See your point.
Brother Marcus, where is the library in terms of the Undercroft?
Well,
The undercroft is on the left side of the temple. It's actually outside, but there is a secret entrance that we usually use when we bring our brother from his resting place, which is usually somewhere near the alchemist station, because at this point they are somewhere in the infirmary, which is next to the alchemist station, and we can easily carry them. As you can tell, as aged individuals, we can't walk very far while carrying a dead body. But there is an entrance on the outside, which was constructed by Brother Henry of the 19th age, and it was mainly for the family that
Brother
used to
Marcus,
live here.
that
Yes.
is fantastic. That is perfect. Remember how the expediency is not a fool's, whatever you said.
Right.
Right now, expediency and like the
Relevancy.
We really just need the relevant information in order to like not get mobbed.
Yes, of course.
Monks
Mr. Quill for the
dead.
pen, rather, of course. Yes, of course. Right. Well, there are two entrances, one on the outside of the temple and one quite near the kitchen. There's a stairwell right next to the kitchen. If you smell burning sauce, you've gone too far.
Great. In the library, you said was near the kitchen as well.
No, the library is actually right next door to the to this tower here. You may have passed it coming here if you came from the doorway approach, or if you wrapped all the way around, then you just need to keep going. There are two doors there as well. You wouldn't miss it for the fire that's actually probably still raging there in the old scrolls. If you could save as many of the books as you can, just toss them over to the unburned section. That would be much to our desire.
Delightful. Gentlemen?
All right, so what's the plan? Library first, but not for investigating, or straight down to the Undercroft?
Tell you what, I'd feel better if we could get some of them villagers in here to keep an eye on these brothers.
Well, if you're quite sure that there are no more of those trespassers here.
No, that's the thing. We don't know if those trespassers are still here.
I see.
I'm sorry, Lila, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that something completely different, but now I have a new thought. Why wouldn't we just escort these lovely monks out of the place, keep them safe, give them to the villagers. The villagers can then get them to safety, and that gives us free time and free reign to explore as we see fit.
I agree.
Great. So, new plan. Get the monks to safety, outside, hand them over to the villagers. The villagers will then politely take them hopefully down to the Temple Town. And then, whenever we know that everyone is safe, except for us, we will then go and undeadify the place. Hopefully.
Sounds like a plan.
We might want to send word down to Brother Breathe as well, let him know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. They can definitely while they're traveling.
And excuse me, brothers, you, other than the three of you, there's and other than our two unwanted guests, there's no, as far as you know, is there anyone still alive here in the temple?
Well, we haven't seen Brother Norian, Brother Henry, or Brother Tiller. They were separated from us, and they went quite towards the kitchen, which they could have made it to the Undercroft, which was their plan, because it is quite secure, usually. Nothing ever goes in nor goes out. So they could be somewhere near where you're going. And Brother Luck and Brother Ralph and Brother Carl as well. We haven't seen them. Or me, actually. But other than that, it's just us. It's me, Lucian, Tylius, and Tobias here with us.
All right, so but there's 6 unaccounted for, is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Jolly good counting, of course. Yeah.
All right. We'll keep it up. We'll see if we can find them and hopefully send them on their way.
All right. They gather their things and start slowly down. And Brother Marcus says, the tower was actually built as well as with it was Brother Henry, not the one that I mentioned, of course. This was a Brother Henry from 250 years ago. Built this
Brother
tower.
Marcus?
Yes.
Walk and
Remember,
talk. Walk and talk.
relevant
course.
information. I really do appreciate your stories. I would love to have a conversation with you about the history of this lovely, lovely temple. But maybe being quiet and sneaky would behoove us if we don't want to run into any more of those cloaked figures.
Right.
Over a cup of tea and on the campfire later on. You can give me the entire history of this building, okay?
Yes, he says, Brother Kylus, bring that teapot with you. And he carries it all down the stairs. And as they're making their way down, they point and say, they point right next door and say, that's the library, of course. And as they're leaving out the entrance. And we stumble upon Brother Breathe, who is making his way up towards the entrance of the temple now. And they come out, the brothers that you see come out coughing from the roof that is still smoldering. And Brother Breathe, you see Brother Tobias, Tylius, Lucian, and Brother Marcus coming out with your 3 companions.
Well, Lucian, if you keep inhaling that smoke, I might actually beat you in the races next spring.
Brother Marcus looks up. Yes, Brother Breathe. He's just telling them the marvelous histories here.
Excellent. I'm sure you gave them the full story.
Well, no, actually, I haven't been able to, but I hope eventually we will. And as you guys are discussing, you hear a loud, and the ceiling of the temple crashes behind you, 30 feet behind you-ish, and it crumbles in on the entrance, and everyone kind of backs up as the front of the temple has been crumbled. And the brothers there standing, they just kind of stand in silence and stare.
I mean, good thing there's an outside exit too, then, eh?
Brother Henry, built that vestibule. It's 270 so years ago, I think. That's quite a story for another time, I suppose.
Very shortly.
Yes. Well, doesn't help us to be dawdling around here. I guess we'll pop down to the village and maybe see the tavern, see the site. I haven't left this place in, 10 years, I think. And Tobias looks at Brother Breathe and saying, "Are you coming with us, brother?"
No. I have some things to put away before I go. Please go with the Templetons and help them. If you smell, well, you remember the poison incident.
Oh yes, quite well.
Anything that smells remotely that bad, bring it to the attention of any of the people in the town. We believe someone who did this was trying to make it to Goldvale. And we do not need that kind of suffering. Not today.
I understand. Where's Miko?
He is in Templeton. He's helping. Please don't tell him I'm here.
What shall we tell him?
that the old man is having a lie down and would like to get his rest.
All right.
If he gets uppity, tell him to count his buttons until he calms down.
And well, I'll try. You know, we never were very good with him, but you were, yes.
It's a gentle hand to work with.
Yes,
who don't
gentle
want to be
hand,
helped.
warm heart, all that. Right. Well, I can't go around standing all day. My knees would never have it. I'll go down with this lot. And he gathers the rest of the villagers. And one of them kind of looks over at Simon and lifts his stick. And they start making their way down the hill.
Wait, before you go, any of you have an extra shirt?
I totally forgot you were shirtless.
Brother Breathe, I'll let you take care of that. There might be some extra robes and or clothing somewhere in the temple if you manage to get inside.
Yeah.
There are other doorways other than the main entrance that you could easily get into. But
I probably have a spare robe that I can huck his way, a clean one.
So yeah, you
It's
can
that
either
or
have
bandages.
an open-faced robe that's like, kind of one of those you have to tie with a belt, or you can have one that like hucks over your head just like a standard
open
one.
face,
It's
baby.
it's like a surgical gown, so you can have it on backwards, so you can just tie it off at the front, so you're modest.
Wearing it backwards. But yeah, you could just open face bathrobe kind of guy.
Yeah, when he throws it to you, he doesn't actually look at you when he tosses it. The throw goes directly the throw goes right to you, but he's continuing to just stare at the collapsed monastery, and kind of drumming his fingers against his walking stick.
Do we have our music prepared, the one that I sent you, or something similar?
It's currently playing. It has been playing pretty much the whole time.
Oh, I've muted it. That's why.
Groovy's been
Oh
hard
well,
at work.
whatever. Okay, well, try to play it. I want to hear it. There it goes.
As I'm putting on the robe, I'm like, all right, now, Brother Breathe, from what we were told, there's 6 more of your brothers in there. And I list off the names that they told us. And there's also 2 robed figures that smoke and just all around bad vibes. So
Smells
we need
awful.
to keep an... did they smell? Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, you didn't happen to grow a pair of wings or anything, or see anyone else do that back in Templeton?
No. Why?
All right. Nope. No reason. Just checking.
Did Ned? Ned, have you grown
Nope.
wings?
Don't look at me. Look at him.
I'll give you the free perception check since he was standing there shirtless for a while. If you wanted to notice the random tattoos that you may or may not have ever noticed, because maybe Simon has never been shirtless around you. But you definitely see something on his back that looks to be a tattoo of some wings.
Well, that's... Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, if I grew wings, I'd be pretty pleased about it. I don't have to walk anymore. Think of the upsides.
All right.
Right. You said there were 6.
Yeah.
This place used to hold dozens. This will not be a pleasant walk.
So what do you guys do?
You said there's a side.
We're going to the. There are 2 entrances to the Undercroft. There is one on the outside, and one that is more often used by the monks on the inside, next to the kitchen.
Gotcha. Yeah, I might have interrupted Simon before he got to the they might be going after the bodies thing.
Okay.
But I'm kind of assuming you guys would fill me in on that.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to be meta.
I think we should go to the one. Yes, on the outside.
That'll be easier.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say that as you you're going around the left side of the temple, it's very peaceful looking grounds. And that easy feeling that you had where you were at peace has definitely subsided. You definitely feel more alert here. The hair on the back of your neck kind of starts to rise a little bit. And you do hear a distant chanting, Lila and Simon. But the other 2 members do not. But everyone roll perceptions.
14. I have been so consistent tonight.
22 for Simon.
All right.
24. Curtis is rolling 16 or 19s. I'm rolling 17s all night.
So I will say
Natural
that
one for me.
Brother Breathe is far more concerned with the state of the temple and definitely distracted by what has happened to the temple of the snow, of the something
Pristine.
snow. What is it? Pristine. That's it. The temple of the pristine snow, and just the upsetting piece that has happened. But Simon and Lila, you both notice pretty much at the same time that there is a rune that is just floating in the air right above the ground. A rune that is floating just above the soil, and it's faint, but it's red, and as you notice that one, you can see that there's another one on either side about 15 feet away from it, and it's curving towards the entrance of the temple, or the Undercroft. And what you can see from the Undercroft is that it looks like an old burial mound, and then there is definitely an entrance that looks like it has been like kind of overgrown, and in front of it is a monk, and he is a stone monk statue that has its hands open like this, and then there are 2 birds resting on either side of his hands, feeding out of his hands. And there's like lichen and things growing on this statue. And pretty much all around that statue, leading up to the entrance of the Undercroft, are these little runes just floating.
Brother Breathe, are those, pointing out these runes, are those supposed to be there?
You do not see anything. Brother Breathe.
I was gonna say, are they like, so if I wanted to get to the statue, I'd have to walk into the ring of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
And Ned, you do not see anything that he's pointing at.
Yeah, just kind of looking at the everything, and I'm just not at all paying attention.
He seems very bothered by what's happened with this temple.
All right.
Simon, so you see them?
Yeah. Don't Doesn't everyone? These
I
rune
don't think.
things?
I see a stone monk.
Oh, that's brother Henry. He from the 16th.
250 years ago.
Tobias, I told you to leave. I told you to go with the others.
Can we get any idea of what kind, like, what these runes are?
Give me knowledge, arcana, or belief in magic.
Arcana?
Yeah.
Arcana. Skills. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
It's a 15.
Simon. Yeah, I was about to say, do you have arcana? You do not.
I
It's a
don't.
dirty 20.
But yeah. All right.
Dirty 20 for Arcana.
Okay. You recognize this as an alarm spell.
I do? Or
Lila does.
okay.
You sense, Simon, that stepping into these runes would set something off, and you wouldn't really know what it is until after you've done it. It doesn't look like it's protecting the statue in any way.
Can everybody please just stop moving for a second? I wouldn't cross the line, even though you two can't see anything. If we cross where those, Simon, you can. It's very confusing. If we cross the line, it sets an alarm off. It alerts someone to know that we are here. It might make things a little bit more difficult going forward if we set that alarm off. It's not going to harm us in any way. Just notify.
I would suggest
Simon,
maybe.
give me a perception check from that arcana thing.
8.
Okay. Even though you notice that statue is not being protected in any way from this rune, this runic circle, you do see something like emanating, smoking, or glowing from the hands where the birds are feeding from. You have no idea what it is.
Okay, yeah, I just see there's something in this thing's hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's made of stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's something's up with Brother Henry's hands. Something is in them.
You other three roll perception checks. All of you. Yeah.
Is there, as a guy who lived here for most?
Yeah, you can roll advantage on that.
Okay. I didn't know if they're normally kept incense
Bird
or
seed.
anything. Yeah. Okay.
I got a 12.
Okay.
21.
Not a 14.
Thank God for that advantage, because my first one was a 2. The second one is a 21.
So yeah, Lila, you definitely see it. And Brother Breathe, you're like, well, I mean, we usually keep birdseed there for the other birds to feed off of, but then you see something that's not quite birdseed. And you see the chain of like a necklace or amulet hanging off of the edge of Brother Henry's hands. And it is definitely emanating some sort of glow, almost like it's a heat wave coming around it. And Lila, you can kind of draw a connection that might be the magical source for this rune, or for this alarm spell that was cast upon it.
If we get the necklace, we could walk through the circle.
Give
Is
me.
that what I'm hearing?
Give me. What are rogue knowledges? You've got to have one. There are no. With 3.5, it used to be like, appraise or like knowledge for like lore, those kinds of things.
Just be Arcana again?
Yeah, give me a basic Arcana check. Just kind of identify the nature of the thing. With advantage, because it's a roguish item. Yeah.
Cool. Ha! Even better. That's going to be a 23.
Okay. Easily a dispel magic would instantly kill this item. For one. Two, destroying the actual item with any sort of like magic, overpowering it, would not set off the alarm spell itself. The alarm spell is emanating from it. However, to get to it, you would be entering into a zone that it is just watching over. And it sends out a rhythmic pulse on the astral plane that whoever the owner is would feel. And it would instantly know that someone has entered that zone. But destroying it or otherwise making it not useful would not set off that pulse. It would just die. Much like turning someone's phone off and then their alarm doesn't wake them up in the morning. They wouldn't know.
Okay. What's the radius? Do I have like a sense of how far away this is?
It's so from where you're standing, I would say 15 feet, so 30-foot diameter circle.
Okay.
And all right. I don't think we have roll 20. We don't have roll 20 figured out on the thing, do we?
For the stream? We can.
Okay. If we do, I can just draw it. And we can kind of figure it out from there.
Let me get my things situated here. Whoop. Might have just made.
Share all that information in the meantime with the rest of the party that we can either destroy it or dispel it.
So Lila, when you say destroy.
Yes.
If I were to hit it with something, will that work? Or does it need to be something from you or your...
I mean, I think destroy is destroy. You just can't cross this invisible line that you cannot see and only Simon and I can.
Like, I would take out my crossbow at that point and be like, well, I guess it can't hurt to take a couple pot shots at it. So it's less than, like, what? You say it's like 30 feet away?
15 feet from where you're standing.
15 feet away? Sweet. Then, yeah, I will just... So, what I'm going to do... Take out the cross...
More of this inertia thing. You raise that crossbow up and you can kind of put it in that iron sights. You see this vision of like the first time you fired a crossbow, the first time like you held one in your hands and you're like, yeah, this feels nice, and like that sense of like bringing that power in to yourself almost. And you take this inward breath, you hold it for a second, and right when you're about to release the trigger, your hand just instinctively just lets go of the crossbow and you're holding it. And it just comes out, this ray of, and it just fires out towards the statue. And you're standing there with this vision, with this memory in your head, and you're holding your crossbow like, wait, I didn't shoot my crossbow. And you're holding your hand out while holding the crossbow with that other hand. You're like, what just happened? And when you do shoot that ray of frost, it kind of grows out of your hand, and you feel this like tickle of energy, and all of you hear this like crackle of lightning, and this cool cloud comes around his hand. And you see almost like a miniature thunderstorm, and it goes, and it just shoots out a very cold, icy hailstorm of ice out of his hand. And then he comes to. and the entire statue's hand gets encrusted with ice, and you can see that glow has like frozen the necklace, and it just dangles there with icicles hanging off of it.
That was a beautiful description. I'm not sure if anyone actually heard it because just looking at the chat.
No, I got the description. We're good. I saved that. We're good. There were just some.
Oh, so the Twitch actually heard it. Well, that's good.
If they didn't hear it,
oh man!
If they didn't hear it, it's a secret for us, and we will treasure it for minutes.
So Simon accidentally casts Ray of Frost, and I freeze the locket, whatever is frozen now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then the symbols around the statue, they slowly start to dissipate and into vapor. Yeah.
Simon, I thought you said you didn't do magic.
Well,
You
as
know a lot
have
about
no idea
yourself
what
today. I'm so proud of you.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. So good. All right. Runes are gone now. But move, yes. Going in.
Yes, move. Go.
We are gonna have so much to talk about later.
Uh-huh.
Lila, as you're walking past the statue, make a perception check.
That is going to be a 23.
Okay. As the ray of frost, those icicles melt, you can see that the hands on Brother Henry, where they were frozen, are now that inky black that you recognize from before with those necromancers, as the touch of that radiant chaotic energy, and it has just emanated from Simon. It's basically residue, magical residue. Something has happened, some sort of magical spell has happened and left this residue behind it.
We will have a lot to talk about. Surprising.
All right. So yeah, we get
can I
to the
try and
entrance.
grab the necklace, the now broken necklace?
It is a necklace that has a stored spell, and is just the stored spell of alarm.
Cool.
Yeah, you just have to figure out the command word, and you can work it. And that can be, some hours of studying it, trying to figure out what the command word is to activate it, and then
saying every word that you know.
It's just a lot of swearing.
Yeah. Macaroni. So yeah, you guys are at the doorway of this ancient undercroft of the Temple of the Pristine Snow. And yeah, that is where we will leave us off for next time.
Excellent. The cliffhangers are real. I'm so glad I decided to leave my child behind and come fight some
We
monsters.
just have to wait a week this
That's
time,
true.
guys.
Yeah, that
just
is
one
true.
week.
Yeah, just one.
We are
You left him to go get milk, and you never returned.
Cigarettes. Thank you. Which is a bold-faced lie because I basically have one lung. It's fine. So yeah,
As always.
same time next week. We'll be back. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. If you want to watch more of our stuff, we have a game Sunday and Monday, and then we'll be back on Thursday. If you only want to watch this little cluster of 5 do some shenanigans. So until then, everybody, see you all next week.
Bye. The John Mulaney.